stone lithography experiment of the day. Today I am going to be testing out a counter etch. And a counter etch is usually done with citric acid, and really I should probably just order myself some citric acid and measure it out. But here instead I have some lemon juice mixed with warm water. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash the stone with hot water. Now the citric acid counter etch is supposed to open up the stone to accept new grease. So essentially what I'm gonna do is do a couple of passes of a counter etch and then draw on top and see if those drawing marks actually stick. I've given that a good rinse. At this point, I'm going to let the surface of the stone dry. I will add in a few more drawn marks, do an etch. After it's sat a bit, I will do a roll up and see if those marks have actually taken. And I'm doing a different drawing style, mainly so I can really see if they actually stay or not. I want to make those marks at least somewhat obvious so I can see if this kind of just lemon juice is going to work, or if next time I really need to actually measure out citric acid and warm water. All right, I've done some additions. First, I'm applying talc powder to the surface. I'm removing some of the drawing material, and I'm using vegetable oil, which is not very effective, but my studio is solvent free, so this is what I'm working with. But if I had some litho or mineral spirits or really anything like that, we'd be doing a much better job. Now to clean the surface, this is cleaning the gum that was buffed in earlier, and it's also cleaning the greasy, inky residue. I'm trying to remove the ink with the vegetable oil. I don't want that to get into my printing sponges. Let's see what happens. So yeah, it's definitely working. There's a few sort of peculiarities, and that would be where I did some deletions. In the first print, the texture of the surface of the stone changed, so you can see where those deletions were done. Well, the counter etch definitely worked, but one thing with counter etches is if you do it too much, you can alter the grain of the stone or alter the texture, the finish of the stone, and sort of change the way that it looks. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened here, because you can see there's a clear demarcation where I did the new drawing over the old drawing versus where it was drawn before. So that previously drawn image was definitely affected by that. So what I've decided is I am going to do some more deletions, physical deletions with a needle, and see if I can create an interesting texture in the background. I used these etching needles to do some physical deletions, and then I did a hot lemon etch around. I am now going to proof that, see how it turned out, and see if I need to do more. The stone has gone through a few changes in state, and I am going to do a proof now, decide whether I want to tear paper and do a second version in a small edition number. And now let's see how it inks up. I absolutely love the results. So I am going to print it. I cut myself a few pieces of this nice Gampi paper. This one's still really thin, but it's thick enough that it doesn't need backing. And I am going to print on here now. I dry the surface of the stone to try to prevent the paper from rippling. There's a few spots on this image that I've noticed I have been getting a little bit lighter, so I'm going back in without the baking paper and burnishing those a little bit more.